Hello everybody and welcome to a dimensional pocket guide to Istaria Chronicles of the Gifted with your host SleekWing and Dawn.
Hello, it is I.
Who is a new human that I am teaching how to play the game. Yes, should be helpful. You probably crafted before, Dawn, but do you know that you could press K to open the knowledge window?
No, I don't.
So the other way to open the knowledge window is to press this little anvil. In the case of you wanting to not show products, you can uncheck this. That makes you show like full formulas that you've scribed. And if you wanted to, say, create this beginner armor chest scale, or in your case it's probably more of like a tool or something, it will show you all the formulas in that formula, and you can double click one of them, or click that and then click create. And then it'll open this window, which you've probably seen many times before, to create the item itself. So, I'm gonna take out this layout here and piece it out part by part. This top left shows you exactly the item you've selected to make. The second thing shows you the formula it comes from. This shows you the tool you need to use it, or the ability in my case. And for me, since I'm just a dragon with the ability, I can click this button and bam, it'll just use the skill. And if you click this button while as a human, it'll equip the tool. So you don't have to go into your inventory and equip it. The next part is the machine. So if you're not standing next to the right machine, it'll show you what machine you need to go next to in this little thingy here. In my case, I need to go to a dragon scale forge, but around me are just human buildings, so how the hell do I get to make my dragon scales? Oh wait, we go into this beginner blacksmith shop and find an anvil, and if you stand next to the anvil, then it'll replace it. Bam! You can create scales at human anvils. It's like the only shop that replaces another shop, so I thought I'd make note of that. The next thing is how many batches you want. So you can use this little slider, willy-nilly, whatever you want, but sometimes it's hard to get onto a specific number that you want, so if I wanted 33, but I landed on 32, you can press the little arrows to go back and forth, which, you know, is pretty straightforward. And this up arrow means just like make the maximum amount of batches that you can make, which in my case is none, because I don't have any materials. You see this little box? Not many people even know it exists because it's basically gambling. Do you want to use all of your resources to get nothing? Or potentially use them at minimum cost to get a bunch of items? Well, if your maximum skill level is above the optimum skill level, then you don't have to fucking worry about it. You never even look at this box. What is this box? We don't look at that box. But do you like gambling, Don?
Yeah, Don, do you like to gamble?
No. Well, then you all need this box. So, I'm gonna explain this little bunch of knowledge here in this bottom box. This will show you the resource types that you need to make the item. This is how many you have in your inventory. In my case, I have none. You'll need this many to make it, and then it shows you the skill used, in my case, Scalecraft, your current skill level in that skill, and then it'll show you the minimum skill required to make that resource, and the optimum skill to make that resource, and how much efficiency you have at making the item. So, the minimum skill required to make this item, as long as you're above that amount, you can make the item. However, if you're below the optimum skill, it'll take more resources in order to create the item. But as long as you're above the optimum skill, at or above, you will be able to make the item at like the minimum resources required. So the higher your skill, the less resources you'll need to make the item. And in my case, it doesn't matter because I'm way above this level needed to make this item. You see this little technique window? See, you may not have to worry about this base crafting, but later on you may want to add, say, mining to your pickaxe or something. If you wanted to add mining, you'd click on the mining technique, press the down arrow, and bam, it's added to your item. But that also adds these other resources you need in order to make the item. So, and it also increases the optimum skill you need to make this at lower resource cost. So, since we don't want to do that, we select this, press the up arrow, and bam, it's gone. this should show you a preview of what the item is going to be when you've created it, with whatever techniques or dye. Also, dye you can add after the fact, so it's not super important, but it also doesn't take up a technique slot, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, these two little boxes down here are really important. So, you know, when you're creating something like a pickaxe or a scale, it'll appear in your inventory. So if you press I, in my inventory I've got a little scale, right? So let's say I just made this. If you right-click that scale, you can deconstruct it and get some base resources. So you could get, say, marble in this case. So that's useful if you want to make items and keep remaking them and deconstructing them, because you get more experience that way. Now, if you were to create a bunch of this item, like 20 or 30, then bam, your inventory is full of those items and you have to right-click each one or select a bunch of them and then right-click and deconstruct, and that's way more time-consuming than just clicking this little auto-deconstruct checkbox, and then it'll just deconstruct them as you make them. Now, I wouldn't recommend keeping this checked just because if you want to create something nice, and then you auto-deconstruct it, then bam, it's gone. So, use it sparingly. Use it when you're leveling. And this little check mark here, which is close on creation, you can uncheck that so that the window stays open if you say want to create more of the same item repeatedly. So like when you're crafting to level, you would keep on auto-deconstruct but not check in close on creation. Don, would you like to know my favorite thing?
Show me.
Yes. Okay, you see this little button here? It's called the shopping list. You click it, and bam, it adds whatever you're making to your shopping list. Based on how many items you have being made in the knowledge window, it'll add that many to your shopping list. That is fantastic. So basically, it adds a list of items that you need to make that item and the quantities required and how many you have in your inventory, which is really useful, but it deserves an entirely different guide. So yeah, I won't get too far into that. It's a really, really, really useful tool that keeps you from losing your mind when you've got extensive crafting projects and you don't want to do spreadsheets. As much as I love spreadsheets.
You like spreadsheets.
I do like spreading sheets.
Bye, guys. Bye.
That sounds like a fucking
anymore.
Look at this tiny human running away from me. Come back.
I must flee.
Well, thank you guys for watching this mini guide to Istaria. And if you want more content, please like and subscribe. And remember, stay salty. He's sprinting away! Come back!
No spreadsheets.
No spreadsheets.
I love spreadsheets.